latest breaking news coming in of the Luthra brothers, the brothers who own the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Goa that caught fire on the 6th of December, killing 25 people. The Luthra brothers who are on the run, who were in Thailand, who left for Thailand merely hours after the tragedy, have now been brought back to India. They are back in India after deportation from Thailand. And now the two are likely to be produced before the Patiala House Court, with the officials seeking their transit remand. Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra have been deported from Thailand. An Indigo flight is what they were on. That Indigo flight with the Luthra brothers has landed at the Delhi airport. They are in custody. Goa Police has taken the Luthra brothers into custody at the Delhi airport itself. The brothers are arriving on that Indigo flight and undergoing immigration clearance and medical tests before being produced at the Patiala House Court. The Goa Police were waiting at Terminal 3 or T3 at the Delhi airport and eventually took them into custody for negligence and illegal construction violations at their property in Goa. This arrest marking a crucial step in the investigation into the tragedy that exposed several safety lapses in Goa's hospitality sector and served as a rude wake-up call for all hospitality establishments across the country. Questions were raised on whether fire safety norms are being followed, whether construction norms are being consistently violated, and are these nightclubs putting people's lives at risk on a daily basis. Those were some of the big questions. But for now, the investigation progressing into the Goa nightclub tragedy. We have Dhanraj Vanjari, former ACP of the Mumbai Police, with us on the broadcast. Mr. Dhanraj Vanjari, thank you so much for being with us on the broadcast. I have to ask you this. This investigation, has proceeded quickly enough to ensure that the owners, the ones responsible for it, are brought to book. In that sense, the Goa Police have acted with extreme alacrity, isn't it? Mr. Dhanraj Vanjari.
AI is a nodal agency to handle such kind of deportation from abroad. So accordingly, Goa Police will be guided and Goa Police will do the needful. Since it is a matter where after landing in India, they need to be produced before the magistrate under 24 hours after the arrest or after the deportation. So they will be sort of a formality. They will do it. Then as against transfer warrant, they will be handed over to Goa Police. Then Goa Police will take the custody, will take it to Goa. Then again, second time, Goa Police will produce them before the Goa magistrate, and accordingly, their custody, police custody or judicial custody would be decided under judicial supervision.
Right. But tell us, the way this investigation is going, this will set a precedent for all such investigations into the future, isn't it? And more importantly, it will serve as a right warning signal for not just, for all those watching what is happening with the Luthra brothers, that they need to, if you are in the hospitality sector, if you are hosting people on a daily basis, you just cannot put their lives at risk.
Definitely, this is a serious offense, but the crux of the issue would be whether the criminal negligence and rash act were into play. So police have to investigate on that parlor action where the owner, being the director or being the conductor of that place, was responsible for this mishap. And if he is responsible, how come he was responsible? The first and foremost factor it would be that this is a gross, large, huge fire incident. How the fire clicked, and for clicking the fire, what was the reason? And to put that reason at place, whether the conductor of the place had taken proper precaution or not, then only we can establish the element of negligence on his part. After the negligence being established, we have to see that this rash act when caused so many deaths. So this is a culpable homicides offense. It is not directly homicide, but culpable homicide. And negligence, as I said, it is bona fide, mala fide. They call it by mistake, ye reh gaya. By mistake, this happened. If this is a mistake, whether that mistake was bona fide or mala fide, accordingly, the law terms would decide the weight of the charges against the accused. And I hope in this case, police will accept it as a challengeable investigation, and they will find out proper, meaningful evidence under the frame of law, and that evidence will be produced as against the charge sheet against the accused, and accordingly the trial will be held. As an example, as you said, what can be done? Now, in such cases, our all machineries, including governance, administration, and judiciary, we all see that if peoples are getting losing their life like this, and the persons who are benefiting and running some of the activities with license, without license, legally, illegally, that's all factor needs to be considered. And I think the major chunk of punishment need to be granted against them, so that it would be an exemplary case and the lesson for others to take the proper precaution and not to play with the lives of the innocent people.
Right, Dhanraj Manjari, I want to take you back to what happened in December 2017 in Mumbai, the Kamala Mills fire tragedy that killed 15 people, 55 people were injured, if I'm not mistaken. You know, that began at this pub called One Above, and then spread to other nearby restaurants as well. That fire, what happened there again? Indiscriminate commercial development in a very cramped area, all kinds of norms being violated. That should have ideally served as the wake-up call. And here we are, 8 years down the line, witnessing another tragedy, this time in Goa, a place known for, all kinds of hospitality.
Like in Kamla Mill compound, if the norms legally been violated and it has the norms legally was not formed properly and not observed, and it was violated, then it definitely proves a criminal negligence. That is a malified act on the part of the accused, and for that purpose, they cannot be spared. Two ways they can be punished. Number one, the adequate compensation to the victims, and number two, the imprisonment and their other provisions in the punishment which can be thrashed upon them.
Right. You saw what happened. The reason why I brought back the incident of the Kamala Mills tragedy is that there too there was so much media coverage, so much was spoken, and here you are. It was Mumbai, the heart of Mumbai, where a tragedy like that. There they say it could have been because of a fire from a hookah, that could have caused the fire. Here you have a violation which is so obvious. A place lined with flammable material, lined with wood and other flammable material, and they had firecrackers being burst inside the premises. This is
no, whosoever does the act, he cannot just say that ये हुक्का की वजह से accident हुआ या लैम्प की वजह से कुछ हुआ या there was some accidental act and इसकी वजह से ये सब हुआ. No, those are the lame excuses. The police will definitely find out, of course, with the help of the fire brigade and other agencies, that what exactly clicked the fire, and that clicking cause was the reason. Then whether it was under the control of conductor, the runner of that place, that club, why he had not been able to avoid it, and whether proper precautions were taken. And if the precautions were at the place, then how come this accidental thing can happen? Unless there is a malified intention being contributed to it. And when the malified intention is proved, the criminal negligence is automatically proved, and then the punishment will be allotted.
Right, but the fact of the matter is that you saw the Supreme Court letting the owners of the restaurant that caught fire in Mumbai go with a bail. There were supposedly charges initiated against the Kamala Mills owner, but nothing really came out of it.
No, it is, but it is not for you and me. It's a judicial forum. The judge will decide, the judge will
No,
find,
I'm
and will
asking this,
weigh.
Dhanraj Manjari, because what will happen now? You got these two brothers arrested. Will they actually face punishment? Will they actually be made to go behind bars? Because that is what will set an example. All this commotion in the media, talking about it, deporting them, getting them back into India, taking them to court, and then eventually them getting a bail.
It would be speaking would be a sort of anticipated hypothesis. Why to create the hypothesis? What I said clearly, if the law is very clear on the issues of negligence and criminal negligence, rash act and accidental act, then let the law take a course. And of course, it is a burden to judiciary. Judiciary has to find out if somebody gets a bail, that's not a matter. We can say कि unjudicial है. Because a criminal act just happens, so that doesn't mean कि everyone should get the same suffering. It depends upon the perceptive decision and direction of the court. So judicial direction, we need to wait. Without waiting, if you want me to come to the conclusion and predict something, so I will not say what will happen in this case. Let there be a due process of law, let there be a due process of judicial procedure complete, and then only we will be able to comment on it, not before that. I think in the interest of fair justice, one should not do it.
Okay, fair enough. We won't. We're not trying to predict what is going to happen in the courts. We're just asking questions as to the fact that it's one thing to get them into custody, and the other thing is to ensure that they, face justice. They are made to face justice, and they don't escape, facing justice. That's the reason why I asked the question, Dhanraj Manjari. I also have to ask you this. In the aftermath of that Kamala Mills tragedy back in 2017, you had all fire departments, all establishments across the country, reviewing their fire safety measures and etc. etc. And in that sense, when you speak to people from Goa, they'll tell you that, in the last few years, there has been such indiscriminate commercialization and so many, permissions and grants and approvals and licenses have been given to such establishments for indiscriminate commercial exploitation of Goa. And this, this particular set of brothers who also run two other establishments seem to be a symbol of the kind of indiscriminate commercialization that's been going on in Goa in the recent past.
Of course it is. But I tell you one thing very clearly, that there be a big hue and cry on the street, social hue and cry, you can say. There might be a lot of bolo bolo on media. Apart from this is the democracy. This thing is bound to happen, the hue and cry and the bolo bolo on media or on the street. Well, that is at one place. But we must stick to the constitutional provisions where judicial forum has to decide the matter. And there are always the standard norms in the judicial procedure being established. Accordingly, there would be a proper justice. Let us hope that in this case, as I said, there would be an exemplary punishment which would give a lesson to other establishments who are doing in commercial activities, name so many other things illegally. They should get a lesson. I hope our judicial machinery will definitely consider all these things and will punish the wrongdoers in a rightful manner.
Right. The hope is certainly, and the faith with our judicial system is that the wrongdoers will be punished. But tell us, is there something fundamentally wrong in the way these kind of hospitality establishments are given approvals and licenses between, say, Mumbai and Goa?
If proper licensing is not been established, and
okay,
who is responsible for checking, inspecting, and not issuing proper licensing? And if without license the activities were going on, then why it was not stopped? For that purpose, the governance, that is Goa government and Goa administration, is responsible. I hope police will go up to that end to find in under the investigation that who is responsible for getting such kind of unlicensed activities being run. And for that purpose, I will not mind. They also should be made a co-accusant unless their act of commission and omission contributes into the offense. All such people, whatever rank, whatever administrative capacity they are responsible.
They are responsible. The authorities, involved in this, they chose to look the other way. This nightclub has been operating for 3 years at least. And they've been doing these kind of, entertainment for the last 3 years. And, this tragedy here is that the locals, from Arpora village, Dhanraji, had warned the authorities that this is being constructed in a way that this is going to be a recipe for a tragedy. And they had predicted that there's a tragedy waiting to strike this particular nightclub, and unfortunately, they tried getting a stay order on this, but the stay order was vacated, and they were allowed to continue operating this. This is all happening despite the locals, the residents over there, pleading with the authorities that it is not about not having nightclubs; it's about giving the right permissions for the right clubs and the right establishments.
What you are telling on the channel now, if that is the thing, the investigators will definitely go up to the depth of it and will take into consideration who others are also responsible for this. And I hope, I give my best wishes to police fraternity and will request them with folded hands that you go deep into the investigation and find out that it should be one of the milestone case in the history of such incidents in India. And we will be able to take care that such incidents will not happen, or if happen, the severe punishment can be given to the culprits. No accused will go scot-free, whether it is from establishment, it is from administration, it is from governance, or maybe at the haste of some political support. I hope police should go deep into the investigation and find out the ultimate evidence which can be placed before the court of law.
Dhanraj, Vanjari ji, I have to ask you this at this stage. Tell us, walk us through the procedure. What happens when you are investigating a case and the prime accused in the case is on the run in a foreign country, and they have to be deported back to India for an investigation. Tell us what happens from the moment the prime accused touch down in India.
Look, the provision of Indian Evidence Act 1872, Section 8 is very clear. What it says, that the previous and subsequent conduct of accused is the evidence admissible against the accused in court of law. Now the words are very clear. The running away and leaving India and went abroad, it's nothing but a subsequent conduct on the part of accused which will support their guilt. This act of accused is complementary to his guilt, that he was guilty, and that's why he adopted the way to run away. So this should be the evidence. What I'm talking, such kind of small, minute evidence, when will be collected, made a chain of evidence, and proper decisions will come out of it, will be addressed as a proof admissible in the trial before the court. And if such proofs are admitted in the court, I don't think they will go scot-free. They will have a severe punishment.
Okay. We will leave it at that. Mr. Dhanraj Vanjari, former ACP of Mumbai Police, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on News 9.